using this opportunity, thank to His Excellency, Mr. Erdoğan. He has paid an official visit to our country with a big delegation. Thank you again very much.
Members of the delegation, valuable members of the press, on behalf of myself, my delegation, with the most heartfelt sentiments. This first official visit paid to Angola from Turkey on the level of sea, me very happy to be together with you. Within of such a short frame, we paid reciprocal official visit, which is in itself quite meaningful. Those historical visits will definitely boost the momentum of our bilateral relations, and I am certain that the process from now on will be totally different. Today we held the bilateral meetings, and the meetings between our delegations were held as well. And right now, via this press meeting, we are taking a record to the history in terms of Turkish and Angolan relations. I specifically would like to state that our talks focused on the field of trade, defense, investment, and the field of culture and tourism. And we have once again confirmed our good bilateral relations with 7 agreements and the Memorandum of Understandings. The cooperation in the field of education, agriculture, and the agreement of administrative solidarity in the field of customs, and the agreement in the field of industrial cooperation, and the agreement on the establishment of Common Trade Commission, and the Memorandum of Understanding in the field of tourism, in addition to the Memorandum of Understanding between the 2 national televisions, were among the agreements and the Memorandum of Understandings that we have undersigned so far. During this visit, and with the steps taken with our, hopefully we will initiate a new process in terms of our relations. The Turkish Airlines has already initiated direct flights from Istanbul to Luanda on the 13th of October. And I also hope that the direct flights of Turkish Airlines will definitely enrich this relations even further. And I also believe that the traveling both from Turkey to Luanda and from Luanda to Turkey will pace up as well. We have of $500 million of a bilateral trade, so the current figure is not what we deserve at the moment, which is $137.5 million. But if we reach the bilateral trade to the level of $500 million, then a very positive step will be taken as well. With the investment of the Turkish private sector in the field of infrastructure development, resources, we will hopefully improve our relations on the basis of a win-win situation. And with all those investments, I'm certain that the efficiency of the Turkish businessmen in Angola will increase as well. Those investments would definitely contribute to the increase of employment in Angola, and we will stand by the Angola government in their fights against the terrorism. Especially in the field of energy sector, I do believe that there are great opportunities for cooperation and collaboration. And likewise, the ministers of energy of both countries have held talks today. As a result of the explorations carried out by our seismic drilling ships, we have discovered 500 billion cubic meters of natural gas. And the natural gas distribution network of Turkey, with its length of 560,000 square meters, is safe and secure, and we will be more than happy to provide the same opportunities to our Angolan brothers and sisters. And we also have the will of developing our relations in the field of education, culture and tourism. The steps to be taken in the field of visa facilitation will definitely contribute to our relations in terms of the tourism. Valuable members of the press, we want all those political developments to be unfolded within the leadership of President Lourenco, and we are following very closely the economic developments unfolding in Angola, and we also appreciate the positive stance of Angola for resolving the problems in the region. And it is well known that Turkey is quite transparent in its approaches to African countries. We have 43 grand embassies in African continent, and our relations with the African countries are taking place and grounded and developed on the basis of win, solidarity and brotherhood. And our cooperation with the African Union is refurbished so that this strategic cooperation will be contributing to the peace and welfare in the continent. Within this scope, the third Turkish and African Business Forum will be held in Turkey on 21st and 22nd of October. Again, on 17th and 18th of December, we will host the third Turkish-African Cooperation Summit in Istanbul. So via those meetings, a new era will be wide open in Turkish and African relations. As I conclude my remarks with those feelings in my heart, once again, I'd like to thank the President of Angola and the whole nation for their sincere hospitality.
Pelas vossas declarações. Ainda assim, ao interesse dos jornalistas e mais algumas questões complementares, eu vou dar a palavra a uma colega da Turquia que vai colocar a sua primeira questão.
TRT Haber'den Özlem Öztürk. Benim sorum Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımıza olacak.
My question will address the President. With this official visit, we are hoping to increase the trade. Could you please take out your mask as well? Özlem Öztürk from Party question will address His Excellency Mr. President. With this official visit, we are hoping to increase the bilateral trade, and I would like to learn what place the defense industry will play. I thank you very much. 3 months ago, Angola paid an official visit to Turkey, and they had requests regarding to unmanned and manned aerial vehicle, and we responded to them stating that we should discuss and deepen those relations. And today we also had talks regarding to armored vehicles But in the last 19 years, Turkey has taken many steps in the field of defense industry, which struck the attention of Angola as well. The ministers of defense of the both countries discussed those topics, what kind of products can be procured or can be sold. We have discussed those issues. We are not conservative regarding to defense industry cooperation, and we have stated that we are ready to give and provide any kind of support whatsoever. The ministers of defense will discuss those topics, and then the necessary steps will be taken, of course. We will give the floor to one more press members from Turkey.
Muito obrigado, Sr. Presidente Erdoğan. Temos agora uma pergunta do colega da televisão pública de Angola e a seguir o colega da Turquia vai colocar a sua pergunta.
Muito boa tarde, Sr. Presidente. Eu chamo-me Isidro Sanhanga, sou da televisão pública de Angola. Há pouco menos de 3 meses, o Sr. Presidente Joao Lourenco foi à Turquia e, decorrido este curto espaço de tempo, o Sr. Presidente Erdoğan está cá em Angola para retribuir esta visita.
Could you please take out your mask?
Fica mais perto, fala para eles ficarem mais perto do microfone.
Dizia que chamo-me Isidro Sanhanga, sou da televisão pública de Angola. O Sr. Presidente Joao Lourenco visitou a Turquia há pouco menos de 3 meses e, nessa altura, já cá está o Sr. Presidente Erdoğan para retribuir esta visita, e isto está a ser entendido como o sinal de que os dois chefes de Estado não querem perder tempo, querem implementar o quanto antes possível os entendimentos que têm em matéria de cooperação bilateral. A pergunta que faço é a seguinte: qual é o papel que Angola ocupa ou deverá ocupar na estratégia de cooperação da Turquia com os países africanos? E se esta pergunta puder ser complementada pelo Sr. Presidente Joao Lourenco, que posição é que Angola gostaria de ocupar na lista de prioridades da Turquia com os países africanos? Obrigado.
Başkan Erdoğan, burada evet çeşitli işbirlikleri söylediniz, onları imzaladıklarınızı duyduk, güzel işbirlikleri, anlaşmalar, mutabakat sağladı. Bununla ilgili mesela Afrika ülkeleri için
many agreements and deals signed.
için ne gibi öneme sahip olacak, ne gibi bir önemli
What kind of an importance Turkey will have for African countries such as ours? And what kind of further contributions could be possible? This is a question to the President of the Republic of Turkey and as well the President of the Republic of Angola.
Muito obrigado. Angola ocupa uma posição estratégica no continente. Basta dizer que Angola é dos poucos países africanos que é membro de 3 sub-regiões.
Evet, burada Afrika ülkelerinde Angola'nın bölgede büyük
Among the African
güç olarak
countries,
rol aldığını biliyoruz
Angola
ve burada barışçıl yollarla
is a strong country.
biz her zaman daha iyi,
We all
daha
know,
modern bir ülke olmaya çalışacağız.
and we will be trying our best to be a country which is more modern and more peaceful.
Angola é membro da Comissão Econômica dos Estados da África Central. Portanto, quem entra em Angola entrou praticamente nessas 3 regiões. Portanto, penso que a escolha da Turquia, a aposta que a Turquia faz no reforço dos laços de cooperação com Angola, vão permitir que facilmente também possam atingir todas essas 3 regiões a que acabei de me referir.
Burada Angola'nın üye olduğu 3 üyelik var burada.
Angola
Bizim
has
gruplarımızda
3
SADC üyeliği var.
memberships
Burada
in the
Orta
region.
Afrika Cumhuriyetleri,
Central Africa, African republics, we have a membership to that as well.
Angola ve Türkiye için burada
The fact that Turkey has started further activities in the continent will, of course, contribute to our win-win relations. And with joint production, possibly we will have the chance to produce for third countries and parties, and also procure. The fact that the Turkish investors
olacak onlar için.
started operating in Angola will be a big opportunity for many countries of the region. Thank you very much.
Perguntou para o senhor presidente também? Sim, sim. Efendim siz ne düşünüyorsunuz bu bağlamda? Türkiye Angola'ya ne getirebilecek? Angola Türkiye'ye ne getirebilecek?
Sayın Başkan zaten yani yapabileceklerimizi
Well,
bu noktada söyledi.
His Excellency has already stated what we can accomplish. The 7 agreements and the Memorandum of Understanding undersigned today are the first steps of improving our relations even further. And we have undersigned the necessary agreements.
Gerek eğitim alanında işbirliği anlaşması ki
The agreement
noktasında
on cooperation in the field of education is important, and we are taking further steps regarding to the universities. Another agreement on the cooperation in the field of agriculture is also significant.
çok büyük bir arazi imkanına sahipler
Angola
ve bu arazi
has abundant lands, and
müşterek yapabileceğimiz
in order to process those lands, we can cooperate and collaborate even further.
anlaşmasını yapma imkanımız
We
var.
have the chance of understanding the reciprocal administrative cooperation agreement in the field of customs, and we are ready to share our know-how and experience
Söz konusu değil.
in the field of
Tabii bir
industry
ortak ekonomi
as
ve
well.
ticaret komisyonu JETCO kurulması
JETCO, the establishment of the Common Economic and Trade Commission,
adımı
will be established, and as the swift steps are taken by our ministers of trade, this agreement will come to fruition as well. Turkey is a very strong country in terms of its touristic destinations, but likewise,
çok ciddi destinasyonları
Angola has very strong touristic destinations as well, and I believe that with the direct flights of Turkish Airlines, the Turkish citizens will visit Angola as well. Another agreement was on the cooperation between the Turkish radio and television and the national television of Angola. The necessary steps will be taken in that regard, but more importantly, the steps in order to improve the cooperation in the field of defense industry will be taken as well. And with those steps taken, we will have a chance to discuss what we can do in order to provide armed vehicles.
Prezados amigo, o senhor presidente Lourenço explicou para vocês que vai ser falado. Então, nós falamos de educação. Com esses acordos que nós assinamos, mostra a importância que a Turquia dá para Angola e Angola dá para a Turquia. Então, sobre acordo sobre educação, nós acabamos de falar sobre universidades, nós vamos olhar os projetos de construir possíveis universidades em conjunto com Angola. E sobre a agricultura, temos muito para fazer em conjunto. Tem terreno florestal muito grande em Angola. Sabemos que podemos fazer e plantar e receber muitos produtos aí. Nós estamos aptos para compartilhar nossa experiência nesse quesito e projetos conjuntos de aduaneiros também nós acabamos de assinar, industrial, experiência em turismo, muito importante. Por exemplo, a Turquia é um país de turismo, tem muitas destinações para visitar. E Angola pode virar um desse, pode fazer as hotelaria aqui, nossos investidores podem fazer aqui. E agora, Turkish Airlines, por exemplo, começou a fazer os voos diretos países, tanto politicamente, educação, socialmente, turismo, tudo vai ser bom. Então, e especialmente agora, nós também além disso, mais importante, indústria de defesa. Como Angola quer paz no mundo e na região deles, nós queremos também. Então, indústria de
birlikte daha adil bir
have extended and conveyed the message of a fairer world is possible altogether, and to what extent it will cover the cooperation process with the African countries. Thank you very much. When we say a fairer world is possible altogether,
yıllar yılı sömürülmüştür.
we also know that the African
Şu anda Angola'dayız.
continent
Angola
was colonized many years.
400 yılı aşkın
Right now we are in Angola. Unfortunately,
Portekiz tarafından
Angola
sömürülmüş olan
is
ülke
a country colonized resources and the natural resources of the African countries
tabii adaletsiz
were
bir
colonized
yaklaşımın
by the West.
çok açık net
This is
koyduğu neticedir.
the clear indication of
Bunların en önemlisi
injustices.
Fransa'dır.
And
Fransa
France,
Afrika'yı
in that regard,
bir sömürge kıtası olarak kullanır.
stands forward. France
Buralarda
used the
nice
African
insanlar
continent
öldürülmüştür.
as a continent for colonization. Many people have been murdered here. Hundreds of thousands of people have been murdered here.
Luanda olmak üzere.
Algeria being in the first place, and many people have been murdered in Rwanda. It was such a cruel administration. It was the times of oppression, and unfortunately, such kind of oppressions continued. And I express all those facts in my book
Talebimiz var.
because we are asking for a fairer world. And for a fairer world, we have to work hand in hand. We shouldn't be afraid. If we are afraid,
Bu zulüm
the more we are afraid, then unfortunately this oppression will cover the whole African continent. So we should stand up
haklarımıza
and
sahip
we
çıkmamız
should
gerekiyor.
embrace our rights.
Adil bir yapıya sahip çıkmamız
And we should embrace a fairer society, a fairer world.
bunu kaleme
That's why
bunun için
I
konuştum.
wanted to put those words into papers, and that's why I expressed all those realities in my book. I mean, you see what is going on in Libya,
Yanında yine aynı şekilde
and
Somali'de olan
likewise, you see what is going on in Somalia. The oppression goes on. It didn't end.
Sahra üstü
there is oppression everywhere in sub-Saharan Africa as well. And in order to overcome all those problems, we should work for a fairer world, and we will not be the ones who will construct it, but we should construct it all together. And I presented my book to Mr. Lourenco, and I said that we should work together. Thank you very much.
Senhores Presidentes, muito obrigado. Terminamos a nossa pequena conferência de imprensa. Até já.
Çok teşekkürler.
We've been listening there to President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan and President Joao Lourenco, the President of Angola, giving their statements to the assembled media following their bilateral meeting. A discussion there of the number of memorandum of understandings that have been signed between Turkey and Angola on President Erdogan's first day of a four-day visit, three-nation trip to the African continent. Our diplomatic correspondent Andrew Hopkins is in Angola, in the capital Luanda, with the president, following him on this tour. And Andrew, we heard plenty there about some of the agreements that have been signed. Just take us through the highlights as you see them from what we heard from the presidents.
Yeah, the subjects that he said they've managed to sign agreements on include education, agriculture, customs, industrial cooperation, trade, tourism.